The Winter Ski Adventure. Chapter 1. The Exciting Plan. It was the middle of December, and snow covered the small town of Winterville like a soft, white blanket. The town was surrounded by tall, majestic mountains, which looked even more beautiful with snow on their peaks. Everyone in Winterville loved this time of year, especially because it meant one thing: skiing. Emma, a 15-year-old girl with bright blue eyes and long brown hair, was sitting by the window in her warm, cozy house. She watched as snowflakes danced in the wind outside. Emma had always dreamed of going on a ski adventure, but she had never tried skiing before. This winter, however, everything was about to change. "Mom, Dad," Emma called out excitedly. "Can we please go skiing this year? I really want to learn how to ski." Emma's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, were busy preparing hot chocolate in the kitchen. They both smiled when they heard their daughter's request. "You know, Emma," said her dad with a gentle smile, "skiing is a lot of fun, but it can also be challenging. Are you sure you're ready for it?" "Yes, Dad," Emma replied confidently. "I've been watching videos and reading about skiing. I'm ready for the challenge." Mrs. Johnson walked over to Emma and placed a warm hand on her shoulder. "If you're ready, then we're ready too," she said. "We'll make this winter a special one." And so, the plan was made. The Johnson family would spend the weekend at Snowy Peak Resort, a famous ski resort located high in the mountains, not too far from Winterville. It was known for its beautiful ski slopes, friendly instructors, and fun activities for people of all ages. Chapter 2. Arriving at Snowy Peak Resort. Early on Saturday morning, the Johnson family packed their car with warm clothes, boots, and everything they would need for the weekend. The drive to Snowy Peak Resort was breathtaking. The road wound through thick forests of pine trees, all covered in snow. As they climbed higher into the mountains, the trees became taller and the snow thicker. When they finally arrived at the resort, Emma couldn't believe her eyes. The resort looked like a magical winter wonderland. The main lodge was a large, wooden building with smoke rising from the chimneys. There were children building snowmen, families sipping hot drinks, and groups of friends laughing as they prepared to hit the slopes. "Wow," Emma whispered, taking it all in. "This place is amazing." After checking in at the lodge, the family made their way to their room. It was a cozy space with big windows that looked out onto the snowy mountains. Emma could hardly wait to get started. "Can we go skiing now?" she asked eagerly. Her parents laughed. "Not so fast," her mom said. "First, we need to get our ski gear." They headed to the rental shop where they were fitted with skis, poles, helmets, and warm jackets. Emma tried on her ski boots, which felt heavy but snug. The excitement was building inside her. She was about to have her first ski adventure. Chapter 3. Learning the Basics. With their gear ready, the family walked to the beginner's slope. It was a gentle hill, perfect for first-timers like Emma. A friendly ski instructor named Sarah greeted them with a warm smile. Hi there. My name is Sarah, and I'll be your instructor today, she said. I'm going to teach you all the basics so that you can enjoy skiing safely. Emma listened carefully as Sarah explained how to put on the skis, how to stand properly, and how to balance. It was a bit tricky at first, and Emma wobbled as she tried to stay upright. But Sarah was patient and showed her how to keep her knees slightly bent and her body relaxed. Remember, skiing is all about balance, Sarah said. Don't worry if you fall. That's part of the learning process. After practicing standing and balancing, Sarah taught Emma how to glide forward by pushing gently with her poles. Emma felt a thrill as she began to move across the snow. It was like she was floating. Next, Sarah showed Emma how to turn and stop. These were important skills to control her speed and direction. Emma practiced turning left and right, slowly getting the hang of it. You're doing great, Emma, Sarah encouraged. Now let's try going down the hill. Chapter 4, The First Descent. It was time for Emma's first real descent. She stood at the top of the beginner's slope, looking down. The hill didn't seem very steep, but to Emma, it felt like a big challenge. Her heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nerves. You've got this, Emma, her dad said, giving her a thumbs up. Just take it slow and steady, Sarah added. Emma took a deep breath, bent her knees slightly, and pushed off. At first, she moved slowly, feeling the snow under her skis. Then, as she gained a little speed, she remembered to lean gently into her turns, just like Sarah had taught her. The wind rushed past her face, and for a moment, she felt like she was flying. But then, Emma lost her balance. She wobbled, and before she knew it, she was on the ground, surrounded by snow. It wasn't a hard fall, but it surprised her. For a second, she wasn't sure if she should get up or give up. Sarah skied over quickly. Are you okay, Emma? Emma nodded, brushing the snow off her jacket. I'm fine. I just didn't expect to fall. Falling is normal, Sarah said with a smile. Even the best skiers fall sometimes. The important thing is to get back up and try again. With Sarah's help, Emma got back on her feet. She was determined not to let the fall scare her. After a few more tries, she managed to ski all the way down the slope without falling. The feeling of accomplishment warmed her from the inside, and she couldn't stop smiling. Chapter 5, A New Friendship. As the day went on, Emma continued to practice. She noticed another girl around her age who was also learning to ski. The girl had short, curly hair and a bright red jacket. She seemed to be struggling with her turns. During a break, Emma decided to say hello. Hi, I'm Emma. Are you learning to ski too? The girl smiled. Yeah, I'm Lily. It's my first time, and it's harder than I thought. Emma laughed. I know what you mean. I fell a lot at first, but it's getting easier. Do you want to practice together? Lily's face lit up. That would be great. Maybe we can help each other. The two girls spent the rest of the afternoon skiing together, encouraging each other and sharing tips they had learned from their instructors. They laughed whenever one of them fell and cheered when they made it down the slope without a hitch. By the time the sun began to set, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Emma and Lily were exhausted but happy. Chapter 6: The Big Challenge. That evening, as they sat by the fireplace in the lodge, sipping hot chocolate, Emma's parents asked how the day had gone. It was amazing, Emma said, her eyes shining with excitement. I made a new friend, and I can't wait to ski again tomorrow. Mrs. Johnson smiled. We're so proud of you, Emma. You did a great job today. Mr. Johnson nodded. Tomorrow, you might even be ready for a bigger challenge. What do you mean? Emma asked, curious. There's a slope called Snowy Meadow, her dad explained. It's not too steep, but it's longer and a bit more challenging than the beginner's slope. If you feel ready, we could try it together. Emma thought about it. The idea of trying a more challenging slope was both exciting and a little scary. But after everything she had learned today, she felt ready to take on the challenge. I want to try it, she said with determination. The next day would bring new adventures and challenges, and Emma couldn't wait to see what was in store. To be continued. The Winter Ski Adventure, Part 2, Chapter 7, The Morning of the Challenge. The next morning, Emma woke up with excitement bubbling inside her. The sun was shining brightly, making the snow sparkle like diamonds outside her window. Today was the day she would try Snowy Meadow, the longer and more challenging slope her dad had mentioned. As she dressed in her warm ski clothes, Emma thought about everything she had learned the day before. She had fallen, gotten back up, and gained confidence on the beginner's slope. Now, she felt ready for a bigger challenge. Downstairs, the lodge was buzzing with activity. Skiers of all ages were heading out to the slopes, their breath visible in the cold morning air. Emma spotted Lily in the lobby, and they waved to each other. Are you ready for another day of skiing? Lily asked as they met up by the fireplace. Definitely, Emma replied. I'm going to try Snowy Meadow today. How about you? Lily's eyes widened. That sounds exciting. I'm sticking with the beginner's slope for now, but maybe I'll try Snowy Meadow tomorrow. Emma smiled. You'll do great. Just take your time and enjoy it. After a hearty breakfast of pancakes and hot cocoa, Emma and her family headed out to the slopes. As they walked towards Snowy Meadow, Emma's heart beat a little faster. The slope looked much longer than the one she had practiced on yesterday. It wound down the mountain in gentle curves, with trees lining the edges. Are you ready, Emma? Her dad asked, giving her an encouraging smile. Emma took a deep breath and nodded. I'm ready, Dad. Chapter 8: Conquering Snowy Meadow. Standing at the top of Snowy Meadow, Emma felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The view was breathtaking. She could see the entire valley below, with the town of Winterville in the distance. The slope stretched out before her, inviting her to take the plunge. Her dad stood beside her, ready to go at her pace. "Remember what you've learned, Emma," he said. "Take it slow and steady, and don't forget to enjoy the ride." With a final deep breath, Emma pushed off. The first few meters were easy, just like the beginner's slope. But as she gained speed, she felt the difference. The slope was wider and had more curves, which meant she had to focus on controlling her turns. "Lean into the turns, just like Sarah taught you," she reminded herself. Emma carefully leaned to the left, making her first turn. It felt smoother than she expected, and a smile spread across her face. She could do this. She made another turn to the right, her skis cutting smoothly through the snow. As she continued down the slope, she gained more confidence. The wind rushed past her face, and the thrill of skiing filled her with joy. She felt like she was flying, gliding over the snow with ease. But then she reached a part of the slope that was a bit steeper. Her speed increased, and she realized she needed to slow down. She tried to turn sharply, but her skis caught an edge, and she lost her balance. With a gasp, Emma tumbled into the snow, sliding a few feet before coming to a stop. She lay there for a moment, feeling the cold snow against her face. Her heart was racing, but she wasn't hurt. Her dad quickly skied over to her. "Emma, are you okay?" Emma sat up and brushed the snow off her jacket. "I'm fine, Dad. I just went too fast." Her dad smiled. "That happens to everyone. The important thing is that you're okay. Do you want to try again?" Emma looked up at the slope ahead. She could see where she had fallen and knew that if she took it a bit slower, she could make it. She nodded with determination. "Yes, I want to try again." With her dad's help, Emma got back on her feet. She took a moment to steady herself. Then started down the slope again. This time, she focused on keeping her speed under control, making gentle, wide turns. As she neared the bottom of the slope, the ground leveled out, and she slowed to a stop. Emma couldn't believe it. She had done it. She had conquered Snowy Meadow. Her dad skied up beside her and gave her a high five. "You did it, Emma. I'm so proud of you." Emma grinned from ear to ear. "Thanks, Dad. It was amazing." Chapter 9: A Day of Fun and Adventure. After her success on Snowy Meadow, Emma felt unstoppable. She spent the rest of the morning skiing with her dad, trying different slopes that were slightly more challenging each time. Every slope had its own unique features, and Emma loved the variety. By lunchtime, they returned to the lodge to warm up and grab something to eat. The lodge's cafe was a cozy place, with a big fireplace in the center and large windows that looked out onto the slopes. The smell of hot soup and fresh bread filled the air. As they ate, Emma and her dad talked about their favorite slopes and the different techniques she had learned. After lunch, Emma and her family decided to explore some of the other activities at the resort. They took a break from skiing to try snow tubing, which was a lot of fun. Emma and Lily, who had joined them for tubing, raced down a hill on large inflatable tubes, laughing as they spun and slid on the snow. They also tried ice skating at the resort's outdoor rink. The rink was surrounded by twinkling lights and decorated with festive holiday decorations. Emma had skated before, so she felt comfortable gliding on the ice. Lily, on the other hand, was a bit wobbly, but Emma helped her stay balanced. "I think I'm better at skiing than skating," Lily joked as she carefully made her way around the rink. "Don't worry, you'll get the hang of it," Emma said, holding Lily's hand to steady her. The day was filled with laughter and fun, and by the time the sun began to set, Emma was tired but happy. The resort looked even more magical in the evening, with the lights twinkling against the darkening sky. Chapter 10: A Magical Evening. That evening, the resort hosted a special event, a torchlight parade. Skiers carrying torches skied down the slopes in a long line, creating a beautiful, glowing ribbon of light that wound down the mountain. Emma watched in awe as the skiers moved gracefully, their torches lighting up the snow. After the parade, there was a fireworks display. The night sky was filled with bright, colorful explosions, reflecting off the snow and mountains. It was a perfect end to a perfect day. As they returned to their room, Emma felt a deep sense of contentment. She had faced her fears, tried new things, and had an incredible time. She couldn't wait to share her experiences with her friends back home. Chapter 11: The Final Challenge. On the last day of their ski trip, Emma decided to try one final challenge. There was a slope called Frosty Ridge, known for its stunning views and smooth, wide path. It wasn't as steep as some of the other slopes, but it was longer and required good control. "Are you sure you want to try Frosty Ridge?" her mom asked as they prepared for the day. "I'm sure," Emma replied. "I've learned so much, and I want to finish this trip with something special." Her parents agreed, and they all set out for Frosty Ridge. The chairlift ride to the top was peaceful, with the sun shining brightly and the mountains stretching out in every direction. Emma took a deep breath, feeling both excited and a little nervous. When they reached the top, Emma took a moment to take in the view. The valley below was covered in snow, and she could see the tiny figures of skiers on the slopes below. It was beautiful and serene. "Ready, Emma?" her dad asked, standing beside her. "Ready," she said with determination. Emma pushed off and started down Frosty Ridge. The slope was smooth, and she felt the skis glide effortlessly over the snow. She focused on making controlled, wide turns, just as she had practiced. The scenery was so beautiful that it almost felt like she was skiing through a dream. As she continued down the slope, Emma felt a sense of freedom and joy. She was no longer just a beginner learning to ski. She was a skier, confident and capable. Every turn, every movement felt natural, like she had been skiing all her life. When she reached the bottom of Frosty Ridge, Emma slowed to a stop and looked back up the mountain. She had done it. She had conquered the final challenge. Her parents skied up beside her, their faces beaming with pride. "That was amazing, Emma," her mom said. "You've become a great skier." Emma smiled, feeling proud of herself. "Thanks, Mom. I couldn't have done it without you and Dad." Chapter 12. Saying Goodbye. The time had come to say goodbye to Snowy Peak Resort. As they packed up their car and prepared to leave, Emma felt a mix of emotions. She was sad to leave the beautiful mountains and the fun she had experienced, but she was also excited to go home and share her adventure with her friends. Lily came to say goodbye as well. "It was so much fun skiing with you, Emma," she said. "I hope we can ski together again someday." "Me?